Hello, Kurt.
Yo.
I'm just switching around. There.
Look like Grizzly Adams, man.
Yeah, it's a grisly time, so you know.
It's a grizzly time. Grizzly Adams.
Adams, man.
What's up, man?
Yeah, a little furry at the moment, but that's okay.
Looking good, man.
Good to see you.
You look like Gandalf.
Oh,
He
well,
was the good one.
what's that?
He was the good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Man, it's been quite a while since we've chatted one-on-one, I think. I mean,
Dude.
I know we're texting, but it's like a year's gone by since I've seen you, I think.
Yeah.
We've been in the same building, let's put it that way.
God damn. Yeah, I guess the last time we saw each other was in Philly
Yeah,
last year around the holidays.
yeah, and it was
I
an
mean,
awesome.
actually, like, uh, what about just a few days ago we played our concert
Yeah,
at the Ars Nova. That was wonderful, man.
that was an amazing night, man. God, yeah,
Yeah, that was so electric. So just the energy of live music
we all
was
miss it so.
incredible.
We miss
Huh?
it so much.
Yeah.
It's like it's been such a wild year, for everybody. And I remember, we were talking, last January, I was at your mom and dad's for the New Year's, and
Yeah.
it was just such a beautiful beginning of 2020. You played a solo piano concert that night, which I'll never forget. Unbelievable. And then we had that gig like a few days later.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And you were ready to go on tour, opening for Clapton in Europe and arena. Just
Yeah,
everything's
man.
going to happen in 2020.
I know. It was like 2020 was gonna be my year, man. I was like, yeah, it was all set. That was like the it was the year that was most planned out already.
Really, you had it scripted all the way through.
Yeah, it was on track like all the way to like September and beyond, just filled with amazing things.
Yeah.
And it turned out that they were amazing after all. Just completely different. I mean, yeah. When the shit hit the fan, I was supposed to go to play Carnegie Hall, actually.
Oh, that's right.
That was my next gig.
Oh,
All the cats were in transit from Brazil. They were making their connecting flight, and they were like, should we get on the next flight? Pedro and Freddie and Tony came
yeah.
from Brazil. They were like in various places in the world about to make their connecting flight, and I was like, I guess you got to go back. And everybody went home. It was
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, it was a really uh dramatic moment for everybody. And for me, we were touring in Sweden, and we were one of the last groups still playing, because everybody else around the world, most countries had already shut down by then. It was March 16th when we were gonna do our last gig in Stockholm at Fasching Club, and I canceled it, and we went home. But yeah, what a trip, man.
Yes. So this happened for everybody. I mean, we all have our stories.
Yeah,
Every musician, every person that's out there suddenly went into lockdown and all that stuff. And thankfully we're improvisers, right? And
exactly.
and I think one of the things that I really want to talk about with you is improvisation anyway. That's kind of a large topic, and kind of fold that into Band at 65 and all the stuff you've been doing. But the idea of improvising through life, it's like suddenly there's no plan, and we have to pivot, and everybody is just like, what do we do? What's going on?
It's just like one.
Woo! Dude, we're walking on some thin ice on you. But so you successfully pivoted to, I guess, the internet and doing new music from home and your master classes. And tell me a little bit about what you've been doing since this has gone down.
Well, yeah, we got home, and I love to be home because I'm never home. So
you're never home.
My idea of vacation is staying home and chilling out, and doing stuff in the studio and working on music, composing music, and just being home and enjoying home life, and seeing my boys, my two sons, Silas and Ezra, and so I was with Skyly, my fiance, and we came home here, and we just started like home improvement, and just I just started to just play some piano and enjoy the piano, because all the time I'm on the road, I'm playing guitar. So usually when I come home, I put the guitar down and I just sit at the piano and just enjoy that, So I was doing that, and wrote some songs, and then of course the whole streaming thing started, and I was a total beginner at that. I had never really done that. And the first time it was like backwards, and left was right, and right was upside down, and so so I just got my shit together really quick on that tip. Got a good camera, and just engaged with that steep learning curve of the whole video aspect of things. And then I found that it was pretty easy to get into the bottom, the ground floor of being able to do that stuff technically. It's like you don't need a ton of money to get to a point where you can do creative things with the video setup. So I got myself, as soon as I figured out what the key of all that stuff was, then I was off to the races. Before that, I was like, I didn't even know how to plug the camera into the computer. It didn't work. Nothing worked. And then I figured out about the Black Magic, just Black Magic.
That's always a big part of
it. I just relied on the Black Magic, and but no, it's a company that makes this thing called the ATEM Mini Pro. You hip to that, Tim?
I couldn't hear you.
It's called the ATEM Mini Pro.
ATEM Mini Pro, no.
Yeah, it's like this streaming box. You plug your cameras into it, and then it does all of the coding, and then you plug it into your computer, and then it just thinks that it's a webcam, but you can do like multicam and all kinds of stuff that you plug into it, that's like HDMI stuff, and then you can do green screen effects. So we started getting into that, and that's just really fun, and so I've just been playing from outer space, for the last 9 months.
That's a good place to be.
Yeah. And then we started doing the master classes, and that was a lot of fun, and it was a good chance to think deeply about some subjects and how to present them and to prepare. And so we did a bunch of you know, master classes that had different subjects, and I wrote some books,
Wow.
and we did video preparation with a lot of visual aids and a lot of green screens. Like one of them was like the background was like detention. It's like the master class is like, okay, welcome to detention. You know, it's like uh, so the whole master class took place like in detention. You know, it's like, welcome to detention. We're gonna play some scales and do some exercises.
That's just,
but but it was a lot of fun. Like and those the master classes were a really good opportunity to just be with people, really, and to have a nice fellowship kind of with people. And you know, the first one was totally open, where everybody was just hanging out all together, and and that was fun. Like everybody, we kind of like did like this sort of like uh like almost primal scream. Like everybody's like just laughing and just saying hello and being with each other, and it was so valuable, just that connection, to say like, like the
yeah,
rest of the shit that everybody's going through, okay, now we can just be in this pure space of dealing with just music and hanging out with friendly vibes, and just have some laughs and go deep in music and have a good time. And that's the spirit of it. And
that's
we've
beautiful.
we're about to do the fourth one now. We just announced it, and we're gonna do that soon. So
Fantastic. When is that happening?
that's at the end of this month. It's the January 29th, 30th, and the 31st, 3 days of the fourth masterclass, which is entitled Inner Harmony,
Oh,
and and the guitar, on the guitar. So it's like harmonic stuff on the guitar, all chords, all voice leading, all
yeah,
just all kinds of chordal stuff, you know, on the guitar, on the axe, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we'll
Well,
just go 3 6 2 5 for days.
well, you're a master of that. Inner harmony.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So how are you? What do you how have you found this whole thing? How has it
uh,
um changed your life, and how have you found, what have you found through it?
well, I think number one for me is it's kind of like you, but not as severe as it enabled me to stop moving as well. You know,
Yeah.
no more flights, no more running around to gigs and driving back and forth to New York, and just all these things that we do are all in constant motion all the time. So, I think just the fact that we got to stop
Right.
allowed me to reflect a lot about, also looking back, like what has happened in 20 years, like going all the way back. How did I get here? These kinds of
Yeah.
questions were coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And where do I want to go from here? Or where am I going from here? What is the future? And a lot of that was eventually what I started doing, because, and I work with dancers at the university, so I've been doing scores for them for a long time, and early on, around March, I realized that wasn't happening anymore. The universities are shut down, and
Mm-hmm.
thinking about dance, and that these people can't dance together, just like we can't play together in bands, and just thinking about what all the people are going through. So I did a lot of meditations, sonic meditations, guitar and
Mm-hmm.
electronics type of stuff, and a few of those ended up being released on 1K. So that was one of the things that I was doing, just really trying to get in touch with that side, that inner side, and hoping that that music could help some people. And I found out it did. It was helpful, and it got out to a lot of dancers who used it for reflection and things like that. So that was part of it. And I started doing some isolation broadcasts where I just improvise at the studio, and just people would show up online remotely and check it out. And those became albums as well. I released three solo records, and
Yeah.
and then I'm working on a vocal album, and this will be my first vocal album since New Cultures, which was back in 2007 or something like that.
Wow. Just like a acapella, just you singing, like just solo.
Yeah, in the shower, you know. No,
I'll buy that, man.
yeah, it's you know, songs. It's, and I play all the instruments. I early on, I was able to borrow a mellotron that was sitting down here in the
Whoa.
studio, and so it, you know, it has reed organ on it and mellotrons and lots of guitars, and I'm playing
Wow.
bass and exploded drum kit and,
Mm,
you know, African flute, you know, all kinds of
bro.
shit, whatever was around the studio, and you know,
Wow.
it's song based. It's kind of psychedelic. Some of it is like folk songs. Some of it has are spirituals. Some of it is progressive rock. I don't know. I don't know how to describe the whole thing, but
Dude, what's
it's
it called?
it's a collection. It's going to be called Many Ways Around the Sun.
Huh.
You know, and
Nice.
it's like the idea that we're into. You know, it's like there are lots of pathways to get to where you're going.
Mm.
So that was the idea with that title.
Wow.
Yeah,
So lyrics?
lyrics.
Dude, I can't wait to hear this, man.
Oh,
Wow.
well, and, so really looking forward to that. And
Yeah.
so we're just finishing up the mixing right now, and then mastering will happen, and I'm hoping to get that out in February sometime if all goes well. You know, so
Cool, man.
that is, but that was a big shift. That's one of the things that happened during this time that for me was a big shift, and felt I at that very moment anyway had some things that I wanted to say, and
Hmm.
you know, we're always talking about improvisation and process and things like that. And what was interesting to me is some of these songs, you know, fell out of the sky fully formed in some cases with lyrics, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm sure that happens to you as well. You know, it's like in the
Yeah.
process of allowing things to come through.
Yeah. Several things came through during this time, songs that were like that, like just fully formed songs. One in particular was just so deep. It took me 3 days to get back to regular life after I had finished the song, because I had to go so deep for it to come out, that it was so deep that it took me that long to just come back up for air, to
You
the
were way in.
surface, you know. Yeah, it was super deep. I put that one online. It's called Our Hearts Decide,
Ah,
and I'm singing on that one. I'm playing piano.
did you post that? That's that video.
Yeah, I posted that on Instagram.
That's beautiful.
Thanks. I posted a lot of stuff on Instagram. It was good to feel. It's good to feel like what you do is helpful or useful for people.
Yeah.
So it was, especially in this time, I think that a lot of people need a kind of a soul balm, a kind of a feeling of that things will be okay, and
Yeah.
just to connect on a soul level, and to feel like, through music, that we can still be connected with each other, and just a kind of a feeling like everything's gonna be all right, and let's
Yeah.
just go into a warm, just meditative place, and be calm, and let music just, heal us, and
Exactly.
and so as artists, I think that this time has been really meaningful to provide that for people, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, I think so many people are on that page, you know, and we're soul brothers, so we certainly are, you know, and you know, it's like one of the topics along the lines of improvisation is the power of music and the healing power of music. And I know we've talked about that, you know, on the road and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Some of this music that would come out from us at a concert, and we'd be like, where did that come from? You know, and people would be so affected by the music. And, you know, it's like, I think this is kind of like our role right now for sure, you know, without a doubt. And, you know, with Bandit, recently I watched the Bonn Festival concert. I'm not sure if you've
Oh,
seen that recently or not, but
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that. Oh my God, that what did the promoter say when he came back after the show?
he said, I believe again. Now I believe again. I believe so. It was something like that.
Right,
Uh,
right.
because, you know, watching that now, um, you know, we're so far away from that concert and how we felt during that show, and to see it now, to see these brave three guys walk onto stage with a blank canvas, and
Yeah,
that concert happened.
yeah.
I mean, I was kind of, you know, blown away to see it again, you know, and to
Wow.
see us walk across thin ice at times, and it's like
Yeah,
it's about to break, and we would make it across, and,
yeah. I
and
mean, you know, I mean,
astounding
there's
things would happen, you know, musical
yeah,
things, maybe places that we've never been, you know,
yeah.
which raises a lot of questions.
I mean, you know, like when you play a concert and you're about to go on stage and you're thinking about what you're gonna do, and you have a relationship with that, with the material that you're about to perform, and you know that can be, you know, you can have a certain level of confidence or a certain level of, oh, I hope I, you know, can play this, you know, well. And you know, sometimes you, if you feel like you don't know something well enough before you're about to go to play, maybe you had somebody, you know, threw something at you at a sound check and you're about to go play it, and then you're like, I hope I make it, and you have a kind of like a little bit of you can be nervous about that, you know. But like the thing about Bandit 65 is that we don't have anything prepared, you know. And it's like, so when we go out on the stage, there's nothing that we can fall back on or just rely on that we
Yeah.
know is going to work, and that we know that we can put on a good show, quote unquote, you know, for the people, a satisfying show. And then we just go out with nothing, and it's amazing how comfortable I always feel backstage before we go out, because I just know that the chemistry between the three of us, you know, you and I and Gintis, and
Yeah.
is just such that we know that the music will come even when we start with nothing in our minds. And that there was that one moment where we were playing at the Elb Philharmony, and you know, the greatest concert hall, one of the greatest concert halls in the world, you know. And it was 5 minutes before we went on, and I just realized we never rehearsed.
We don't have any tunes.
We don't have any tunes.
That's what you said to me right before we walked
Yeah,
out. We
yeah.
always do a hug before we go on stage, and you're like, dude, we don't have any songs.
We don't have any songs.
And we
We
walked
forgot to
out on
rehearse. And then yet we go out there, and then we play, and then it's like finished songs come out somehow.
yeah,
It's crazy.
it really is. And you know, that process of group improvisation, um, it's just astounding to me, because we're each of us are so deep into what is happening, that and trying to make something great, that I think we don't even really know what has happened until later, when we would go back to the hotel and listen and go, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And how does that happen? You know, that's the question.
Yeah. It's so incredible. Like it's so ironic that we're the ones who are creating the music, but we're the last ones to actually hear it.
Yeah.
Because when we're on stage, we're so deeply meditating upon working on it, you know, caring for it in every little moment, that uh that there's such an engagement on a micro level,
Yeah.
that our attention is so acute, and focused, that we're making 100 decisions in every millisecond, so it's like we don't even get the chance to really just sit back and listen to it
Yeah.
until after the show. And how many times, there's almost every time, we would go back and actually, that was one of the only bands that I've ever been in where, like, you'd go back to the hotel and you'd put the gig on and listen to it and be like, whoa, I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah.
So wild.
Yeah, it became a ritual in a way, do the
Yeah.
gig and tear down and go back and listen and miss those moments in time,
Me
but
too, man.
so happy they happened. And I'm so glad we documented this band as much as we did on those tours. And in
Yeah.
fact, I realized the other day that we recorded all the Japan shows too. I haven't heard any of those. Have you?
Oh,
We have
yeah,
a
no, I haven't heard those. I don't think I've heard those, but I know, we have the recording of the last concert we did, which was at the Ars Nova in
Roof
Philly.
Club. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Have you heard that?
yeah, that is like mind blowing. And so I think hardcore, we're gonna release that.
Wow.
We're gonna release that soon.
That'd be
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Psyched about
Yeah,
that. I felt like that gig was our zenith so far.
yeah, yeah. Me
Like
too.
it took 45 concerts and 4 years to get there. Something, I don't know what happened.
you know, yeah. It was so great to come back to Philly and play, because that was our first gig, was in Philly,
That's
and
true. Yeah.
and then after a few years of going all around the world, and then coming back and really feeling really powerful, a lot of power and energy in the coming together and making that concert, and everybody who was there just came, the whole community came out,
Oh,
and it was in this beautiful, uh that place was amazing. Oh, it says
yeah.
oh, somebody's messaging me that the live stream cut off, or did it? No. Maybe it cut off for my friend, but yeah. Anyway, we're still live, right?
No, it's
I think
it's
so,
still
right?
going. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, that
Sometimes,
stage,
yeah, I'll jump up and
yeah, that stage was so beautiful in Philly, and uh and that concert was so special. It really felt like like a zenith, like a culmination of everything that we have collectively gone through, and that gig was. We'll put it out.
you were talking about your new release that's coming out, and
Yeah, Daniel Santiago's record is finished, and then will be released in April or May, and that's really looking forward to that. I also did a piano album, a solo piano album, and that'll be released pretty soon, I think in February.
that's
And I'm psyched
fantastic. I
about
can't
that.
wait to hear that.
It's a lot of fun. I'm playing my own songs and some new ones that haven't been released, and so that's a nice thing. Let's see. I'm also working on another solo album that was based off of songs that I improvised live when I used to do my solo performances. where I used to use this system that I made of doing live looping and using keyboards and singing and virtual instruments with drums and bass and everything, and I would create live songs, you know, on the fly with this system that I made. And so I have a bunch of these songs that I came up with during those concerts, and now I'm taking them and producing them here in the studio, and I'm working also with my my one of my partner at Hardcore, Michaela Bokova, and she's singing on the album, and so we're doing a lot of she's an amazing singer. She's also the label manager of Hardcore, you know, Michaela, and in fact she booked Bandit at the first thing that we ever did together. She booked Bandit 65 because we met, and she was like, oh yeah, I do music management, and I said, oh, how about try to get us a gig, and so she got us that gig at Jazz. And
the in and out of the internet's crazy because it's like we're dealing with this big echo or something, but man, it's just great to see you. I'm glad we got to hang
too,
out. Everybody is saying nice things as this scrolls along here, and that out. And thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Kurt. Love you, man. And
thank you. Thanks so much, Tim. Love you, man.
Love you too.